1947, and the official smoked sausage of the Crimson Tide. Order online at ConnecusaSausage.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On Thursday's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, we'll be joined by Crimson Tide women's basketball head coach, Christy Curry.
Jessica Timmons, having missed the season with that ACL, but she is full go. Actually practiced with us in January and February. But now knowing all of that was a blessing in disguise, and I know she's going to have a breakout season. Extremely versatile, physical, fits the SEC prototype guard-wise. And then Naomi Jones is healthy, and so excited for, her and the potential that she has to give us as much post depth as we've ever had. It's the deepest post depth right now, healthy. And then Rachel Douglas is back from her ACL. So, we return 8, but really return 5. And those 3 are going to make the 8. And we're excited about, the veteran leadership that we have.
I'll have more in a moment.
Favorite jeans, favorite shirt. Got Conecuh sausage and I'm firing it up. Yeah, everybody knows that's how I get my grill on. You can smell that flavor up and down the road. It's a little taste of heaven, and everybody knows that's how I get my grill on. Conecuh sausage. It's just a little taste of heaven.
Join us tonight for Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show, presented by Alpha Insurance, live at Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa at 6 p.m. Central. You can listen to Hey Coach across the full radio network and the Varsity Network app. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Conecuh Sausage. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
We are back, we are live, and we are brand new. We're off and running, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone on a Wednesday morning. Safe travels into work, into school, wherever you may be headed. Of course, we're brought to you by Talent Heating and Air. Don't forget, $49 gets you a tune-up. $50 from TVA. You can make $1. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, 256-503-4490, talenthvac.com. They can get you in on a Wednesday. Thomas, Terry, Jeremy, give them a call. Temperature's going to change. You're going to need to crank up that heat here very, very soon. Normally on Wednesday, this is where we go to the one, the only 8th grader prognosticator, Grady the Greek. But, well, Alabama's on a bye week. So, Grady the Greek getting ready for school, not joining us here on a Wednesday. Neither is the illustrious Drew DeArmond. He's packed up the DeArmond truckster and headed east. Kind of like a vacation. Steve Moulton sitting in for Drew DeArmond this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. And yeah, I was just mentioning, Drew, if you happen to be listening or well, I hope you're listening and not watching. But as safe travels to you, it looks like it's a mess out there here in North Alabama. But I really need a camera in that car ride over to the state of Georgia.
Our social media team is lacking because we could have
thousands of views.
We could have been all over this. Great opportunity. 256-576-4977, your opportunity to join us this morning. We do have college football tonight. We've got college football. It's not in the state, but it does involve a state team. It's your Wednesday Conference USA matchup. Jack State, Middle Tennessee tonight.
Wow.
In Murfreesboro, 6:30. Jack State still perfect in Conference USA play, coming off a bye week. They are 7-0, by the way. Coming off a bye week, they are a 5.5-point road favorite. They are 9-1 all time during weekday Conference USA games. So,
I watched
good luck to Charles Kelly.
I watched a little bit of college football last night and just tuning around. James Madison was in a decent matchup last night. Kennesaw State was
well, that's a big game because Kennesaw State is still perfect in Conference USA play.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And Jack State, perfect in Conference USA play. So Jack State, after this week, they're at UTEP. And then on November 15th, they will host Kennesaw State at 1 o'clock.
Owls won over UTEP 33-20 last night.
Jack State gets UTEP next week. So this is a big stretch for Jack State and Charles Kelly, first year there as head coach of the Gamecocks.
And I hear he is wanting an analyst on his team that is currently the defensive coordinator for the Plainview Bears.
Yeah, one Jeremy Pruitt, who's taken it to court.
That's right.
Trying to get on that staff at Jack State.
I wish I would have known that on Friday when I bumped into Jeremy. But nonetheless, especially in today's world, we'll see where this is going to go. But that thing was filed in DeKalb County. And if you know anything, and I would imagine there's people listening right now in the Rainsville area, that home field advantage probably means a little something. And I'd like to believe that injunction is going to get somewhere for Jeremy.
Maybe. We'll have to wait and see on that one. It's interesting because show causes are for coaching.
Yeah.
I guess it all defines what the word analyst means.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because the NCAA has said, look, analysts can be down on the field now. They can have headphones. I remember they couldn't.
That's right.
They couldn't do anything. Basically, you were just standing on. You could not really do anything on the sidelines.
You could help prepare, but you couldn't do anything really on game day.
Right. Now you can do something on. So I guess it just depends on the definition of analyst. According to the definition, it's analyzing game footage and stats to provide insights for a college football team. Is it going to get you around a show cause?
We'll
if it
see.
does, though, but if it does, think about this, though. If it does get him around a show cause and he's allowed to be an analyst at Jack State, does that open up Pandora's box for others that have had a show cause? Like, let's say, it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But if the bottom ultimately fell out for Jim Harbaugh, because he has that lengthy show cause.
Yep, that's right.
If the bottom ever fell out, I don't think it will. He's just the first name that comes to mind that has a show cause right now.
Yeah.
Bottom falls out in the NFL. I'm going to go back to college football and be an analyst because, well, I can.
Mm-hmm.
Because it happened once. I can appeal it and go right back to college football.
Oh, if I had just Googled it and I totally forgot about Jim Tressel having a show cause back in the day. But no, I would think that this would open up a different avenue for these coaches to get back in. But it's a different world. It really is. Even when Jeremy was at Tennessee, so
some will argue that because he paid players that he should be allowed to come back because we're paying players now anyway.
Yeah.
That we're paying recruits, we're paying people, we're paying all these college athletes money now.
Mm-hmm.
And what he did was wrong then, but what's the difference between then and now?
Yeah.
He just happened to do it when it wasn't legal. Anyway, 256-576-4977. Again, you can watch some college football tonight. There on, I believe it's on ESPN2, so you can watch Jack State on TV. There was a World Series baseball last night. We are knotted up at 2 apiece.
You watch any of that?
Nope. Did not. Toronto Blue Jays. It was the first time ever in a World Series that the DH was the pitcher. First time ever. Shohei Ohtani pitched and was the DH.
I was all in. I really was. And it's simply for this Shohei Ohtani story. I was all in. And John Smoltz is so good.
He has become really good during baseball.
He is so good. He was more or less predicting the steps that we're taking. It was fun. It was a fun listen to John Smoltz last night. But the Blue Jays get a big win and timely hitting. Bullpen it was the issue for the Dodgers during the regular season. Was the issue again last night. We'll see. This is a best of three now. This is pure and simple a best of three. And it's pretty odd that America's team is a team from Canada.
The winner of Game 5 in the best of 7 World Series, when it's tied at 2, has gone on to win the World Series in 31 of the last 46 occasions. 67% win percentage there. So tonight is Game 5. They say 7 o'clock first pitch, but it's never 7.
Never.
7:08, 7:10, 7:15, whenever they decide to get to it. But that is when you're going to get Game 5. So tonight is a huge game in LA. Those that are in LA, the only thing you see on social media about a World Series game in LA is the parking issue.
Really?
Yeah. Look at X and all the people that park. They had a sign yesterday. There was a sign out front, Dodger Stadium, for just a single car to park there was $80.
That's ridiculous.
It was like $120 for an SUV.
Gosh. That's Los Angeles for you.
To park to go to the World Series.
Well, you know what? I will tell you, Ed, when I've had a chance to cover you've covered some SEC championship games as well, Scott, where you see parking right across the street, and that's $100. That's $100 a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess that's not too bad.
Yeah. But it is baseball, and it's that to me is one of the cooler functions that of all the stadiums that I've been to, Chavez Ravine, where you park basically in the lot, an area where you walk to for your seat, which I thought was kind of cool. But does it mean you have to pay $80 for your parking spot? I guess so, for the World Series.
For the World Series, yes. Jacked it up for the World Series. Anyway, 256-576-4977, just getting out some of the housekeeping notes that we've had here. We've got college football tonight, got World Series tonight.
And we'll join that in progress after we're done. Let's see here. We've got Hey Coach, the Kalen DeBoer Show, then Crawdad right after that. So about 8:30-ish. So what? It'll be halfway through the second inning?
Yeah. And the way it keeps going. Do want to wish best of luck to Hazel Green girls. They're going to take to the 6A state championship today. They're going to play at 4:30 for volleyball. So best of luck to the Hazel Green girls. See if they can bring it home. Rough day on the courts for a few of our teams, several advanced, but Hazel Green will play for the 6A state championship today at 4:30. So wishing them the best of luck. If they bring it home, Brian Bank and us will hand them over a nice check if they can win this one.
And the Northern Regional went away from up here, 2 years ago?
Yes, this was the second year that it was in Hoover. Was at the South Hall.
Just weird.
Now it's in Hoover. Well,
politics going on?
Yes and no, but I mean, it's a big event to host.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And the VBC was going through a little bit of renovation and stuff, and,
hopefully it'll come back here.
I
enjoyed that event.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good energy in that building.
It's not coming back for the next couple years.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
All right, I tell you what, let's get our first break in. When we come back, the race to the Atlanta is on in the SEC. Just how many teams are still alive to get to Atlanta? The number is crazy. We'll explain it all next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware is your locally owned and operated hardware store. We're not just about numbers, we're about helping neighbors, because our Ace Hardware store is part of your community. We're committed to being the helpful place by offering our customers personal service, quality products, and a convenient shopping experience. As the helpful hardware folks in your neighborhood, we promise that helping you is the most important thing we have to do today. Stop by and visit Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware today, 1536 Blunt Avenue in Gunnersville.
Firehawk Aerospace is a non-traditional defense contractor advancing the state of propulsion to strengthen the U.S. Defense Initiative. Founded in 2019, Firehawk Aerospace established early leadership in manufactured propulsion with the development of 3D printed hybrid rocket fuel grains. Visit firehawkaerospace.com to learn more. That's firehawkaerospace.com.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
The Tom Abraham Show. Weekdays beginning at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day just an old sweet song.
Thank you, Brody.
There's nothing better than Ray Charles singing that song.
First concert I ever went to was Ray Charles in front of the Stone Mountain Carving. It was the Georgia Music Festival. He spoiled me because he went on it. Well, I was pretty young at the time too, but my dad took me. But he had the full orchestra, the whole get up. And I want to say he went for about an hour 45, took a break, came back for another 45 minutes. So I'm expecting every concert that I go to ever since then to last more than 2 hours.
Some do, some don't.
That's how about that? Yeah, but
some do. The Ray Charles,
was great.
Man.
It was great.
Fantastic. All right. We are heading into the final month of the regular season. Hard to believe, though. It's the final month of the regular season. November, December, January. We still got 3 months before the college football playoffs. Before we get to that, we'll get to the SEC championship game. Now, if the SEC does get 4 teams into the playoffs, it would match the Big Ten's record number from last year. But the question is, who's going to get to Atlanta? And if you start looking at it and you start looking at the standings, Texas A&M and Alabama obviously out in front.
Yes.
But right now, there are Georgia, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Texas, and believe it or not, Tennessee and Oklahoma can still navigate a path to get to Atlanta. Now, substantial help is needed for both of them to get there. And Saturday's game at Neyland eliminates one of them. Tennessee and Oklahoma play on Saturday. The loser of that one completely done from a path to Atlanta. The other one, the winner, very thin line still. But in short, if Oklahoma and Texas A&M win out, Sooners would need an LSU win over Alabama, a South Carolina upset over Ole Miss, and Texas beating Georgia to finish in a four-way tie with Alabama. Tennessee, a few more things that need to happen for the Vols, but that's going to happen. Texas A&M's path is simple. Just beat Missouri and South Carolina.
Yeah.
And Texas and the Aggies get to Atlanta, likely a first-round bye in the playoffs. Okay. Chaos would mean if they fall to Missouri, then you start getting some chaos there. Alabama's path went out against LSU, Oklahoma, and Auburn. You're in. Chaos scenario for Alabama. Crimson Tide won't lose to LSU under an interim coach in 2 weeks, right? You don't think that'll happen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, who gets ultimately?
Which schedule would you like the most? If you're so Alabama down the stretch, LSU, Oklahoma, and Auburn. I'm just going through the SEC teams. Let's see.
Look, the Auburn game to me would scare Alabama because we've talked a lot about Hugh Freeze and how the fact that he's going to get fired. They beat Arkansas. They should beat Kentucky.
Should.
And then they got another one they should win. I mean, they should win their next three. So Hugh Freeze isn't going to go anywhere.
You got them beating Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt?
Well, look, it's possible because it's possible because of this. There's only 4 teams in college football right now. There's only 4 teams in college football that have allowed 24 points or less all season in a game. Indiana, Miami, Ohio State, and Auburn.
That's impressive.
That's it. Those are the only 4 teams in college football that have allowed 24 points or less in every game. Auburn's defense is so good that I think it has the ability to slow down and control Vanderbilt. Now, it's going to be a long shot, but Auburn played Georgia toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
Should have won that game. Hugh Freeze, and it's all infamous now. Well, we're so close in every ball game. But there's not a reason why Auburn can't beat Vanderbilt.
I would agree.
So I know it's on the road, and you didn't do it a year ago. But it's not out of the question to think they can't win that ball game. It's not like you go in there and say, well, it's an automatic loss. So there's a chance they could win their next 3. If they do, they host Alabama inside Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Yeah.
Where you went from having a coach that you thought would be fired to still there, a chance to win 7 ball games and beat your rival. So you have a defense that is national championship worthy. So that game there is not out of the question for Auburn to win. Now, do I think they ultimately will beat Alabama? No. But crazier things have happened.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
So then you look at it, Texas A&M, I like their schedule down the stretch.
Oh, yeah. I that's what I was kind of getting to schedule-wise.
Right.
Texas A&M, I mean, what? At Missouri is probably maybe your toughest matchup.
Right.
Host South Carolina, then at Texas. I mean, it's pretty clear the best team in the state of Texas is the Aggies. And I would even go back to what they did at South Bend. there against Notre Dame. They have consistently played the cleanest and made the fewest mistakes, and it is why they're in the position that they're a very talented team.
Yes.
But when you make the fewest mistakes and make the most of your opportunities, Texas A&M is in the catbird seat right now. Could Missouri beat them? Yeah, I think so. I even think there's a world in which South Carolina could beat them, but I don't see that happening near as much as Missouri beating them. But in the end, that last game at Texas it's strange that Texas has everything in front of them because of the eye test, because of how bad they have looked at certain times this year. Overtime against Kentucky. The offense is hard to watch.
So we could have, if Texas somehow would pull a win against Texas A&M in the finale.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could have 5 or 6 teams with one loss in the conference. We talk about how crazy it is for the state tiebreakers on the high school level. Think about what you could have in the SEC to get to Atlanta. If somehow Alabama and Texas A&M would slip up and Ole Miss, Georgia, Texas, Vanderbilt all win out. It's not out of the question that Vanderbilt can't get to Atlanta.
Of all the schedules, I think Texas's is the worst. If they were to win out, then they would have a shot at getting to Atlanta, but they've got to go through Vanderbilt, at Georgia, Arkansas, and Texas A&M.
If Vanderbilt finishes in a 4-team tie for first with Alabama, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss, if that's the 4 that they finish in a tie with, the Commodores get to go to Atlanta because of a conference opponent win percentage metric.
This does sound like 7A Region 4.
Yes. So in order for that to happen, the Aggies would need to lose one of their final 3 matchups to Missouri, South Carolina, or Texas.
Gosh.
So I know there's a lot of debate about the playoffs. But there is so much right now. And this SEC football season, we say it every week. It's just been crazy.
Yeah.
The unthinkable, Vince Scully, the improbable has happened. The improbable right now is the SEC. It is so unpredictable. It's unpredictable.
So,
Alabama has to, how many people had that Alabama scoring as much as they did in the final 2 minutes at South Carolina, and Texas scoring as much as they did in the final 10 minutes to beat Mississippi State on Saturday?
No, I'm right there with you. It is.
So you look at the schedules and it's like, how do you can't sit here and say, well, you know what? Every one of those ball games, that's a clear and easy win for Alabama, for Texas A&M, for Georgia. Georgia's not out of the equation.
Yeah.
They've got Florida, Mississippi State, and Texas left. I think the attrition will happen because if Texas loses to Georgia, that's gone. But Texas could still be a thorn in the side and beat Texas A&M.
Yeah.
It's I don't know who gets to Atlanta.
I would like to formally apologize to LSU Lynch, where he called me out last night. I went back and I brought up my predicted order of finish. I had Alabama facing off against LSU in the SEC championship game. That is my bad. That is completely my bad. LSU, I got completely wrong this year.
Look, everybody, you are not the only one. Think of how many people
everybody
drank the LSU Kool-Aid
in Atlanta.
Because Brian Kelly sat here and said,
we're a playoff team.
We're a playoff team, and we have the best offensive line I have ever seen, and the best offensive line we have had since I've been here at LSU. And then they go out and they can't run the ball.
Oh, they can't.
But it's the best offensive line he's seen.
In fact, my My top 5: Alabama, LSU, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia. Boy, that Texas pick. You want to talk about overhype? I believe Drew would say deep in the heart of overrated. I mean, come on.
Well, you bring up LSU. Frank Wilson is the interim coach. Here was Frank Wilson talking about his message to the team in his first practice as interim head coach.
Respond the next time you have a game to play, which obviously is the big game in a couple of weeks.
I think they'll respond well. I'll share something we did today. I was watching quite some time ago when we got bombed at Pearl Harbor, and the sirens went off. And that sound effect, and it was an alert. It was a all call. It was a rally call for us to come together. We emulated that today for our football team. And as those sirens went off for the rally call, our team merged together at the 50-yard line. We held up all 4 of our fingers in both hands. We chanted fourth quarter. We chanted finish, because we're all in. We're all in to finish what we've started. And some of that celebration, some of that noise, if you will, was simply our football team answering to the rally call, being there for one another in a tough situation when, if you will use an analogy, we've been invaded.
Can we please stop? Can we please? Now, when I think of LSU, Frank is one of the names that I immediately think of that is like Mr. LSU.
Right.
I really do.
Right.
And I think he is the right guy for this fit right here. But come on. I mean,
you can't.
Can we stop bringing up war references?
I don't know how you can relate that to Pearl Harbor.
That's exactly what can we just stop? Well,
let that stew in your brain, because we got to get a break in. When we come back, we got more college football conversation. Auburn's hosting Kentucky. Inside the numbers on this one, very interesting.
Oh, boy.
We'll explain it all.
Really?
And President Trump has some fun in Japan.
Did he really?
It all comes back to Alabama next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A cloudy sky this afternoon. We're going to be talking about scattered showers through the entirety of the afternoon, even as we head into the evening through the course of the overnight. Because of the continued opportunities for scattered showers today, temperatures are only going to climb into the low and mid-50s, dropping into the mid-40s as we head into the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky on Thursday, a couple of isolated showers, temperatures in the mid-50s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The crimson and white jerseys.
Front court to the rack and the play.
The sound of a buzzer beater.
Got it to go as the buzzer sounds.
The Roll Tide chant from the crowd. It can only be Alabama basketball. Join the Alabama Crimson Tide right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up. Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings, in Hampton Cove and our latest location, now open in New Market on Winchester Road.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities, because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our Workhorse Special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Great news. This offer is now extended through the end of December. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor. We're here for you.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship Game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
To the town of our free rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to
Love it.
Marty Robbins.
There we go. We do a lot of Name That Tune sometimes because Brody comes in with some good stuff every now and then.
Big iron in his hip. Yeah.
Got to get some Name That Tune. Coming up on Saturday. Now, coming up here in just a little bit, we are going to talk some more Auburn and Kentucky. Travis Reier is going to join us at the top of the hour. We're going to break down everything going on in the SEC this weekend. And then at 8:30, we're going to talk Auburn, Kentucky. Nick Roush from Kentucky Sports Radio is going to join us as we talk more Kentucky and Auburn as they will meet down on the Plains on Saturday, 6:30 kick.
Is Stoops on the hot seat? I mean, I've heard nothing about that. And
so here is the thing that we talked about. We talked about this with Mark. We brought this up a couple weeks ago. Kentucky is in a very, very they're in a very weird spot, because if you look at Kentucky, the best thing that can happen if you want a coaching change is for Kentucky to win 4 or 5 ball games. That's what you want. Okay? Because then you can sit there and say, it's time to move on. It's not working. Okay, they're 2-5 right now.
Yeah.
The worst thing that can happen is for Kentucky to win out and be 6-5 and get to a bowl game.
That's Auburn, Florida, Tennessee Tech, Vanderbilt, and Louisville left on the schedule.
Right. To win 4 of those ball games and get to a bowl game. Because that's what you get, 6 wins, you get to a bowl game in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good. That's good. Next year, maybe we can get 7 or 8 because you're never going to win the SEC championship. The best thing that can happen is if Kentucky falls down and they stay at 3 or 4 wins. 5 wins is still on that borderline of, well, we were so close, but not quite.
Played Texas to overtime.
Yeah. So the magic number, I think, if you are going to move on, and here's what you do. You force his hand to retire. You don't fire him.
How old is Mark Stoops?
You force him to leave Kentucky. Don't fire him. He's earned the right.
He's 58.
He's earned the right to resign and be honored at Kentucky for what he's accomplished.
Well, I think the bigger problem is a financial one because he was the Texas A&M coach for literally half a day, and that didn't work out, and Kentucky gave him more money of more or less, thank you for sticking with us. And by the way, I wonder how many Aggie fans are thinking, boy, I don't know if they'd be in the same position now as they are with Elko. But that situation right there bumped up Stoops. I remember reading where his contract was renegotiated after that. And I think they're kind of stuck.
So his contract demands 75% of his remaining pay, which is around $38 million in 60 days.
That's what are you as surprised as I am in this NIL world that we're seeing as many coaches getting canned? That we're
up to 12.
There's obviously a lot of money out there that these universities have access to somehow.
But Kentucky is in a precarious spot. So what do? If Kentucky wins maybe one ball game, let's say you don't beat Louisville, you don't beat anybody else, you go winless in the SEC, and your one game that you win is a non-conference game. You got to pay him $38 million within 60 days. Or 75% of that within 60 days.
Since that 10-win season in 21, 7-6, 7-6, 4-8, now 2-5 this year.
Right.
Only one conference win, and that was at Ole Miss last year. That is, by the way, that's crazy to think about. Lane not going for the field goal. Anyway.
But you're 0-5 this year in SEC play.
Yeah. Staring at Owens. Well, maybe.
So you were 1-7 last year because you play 8 conference games.
Mm-hmm.
So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You're 1-12. You're 1-11 in your last 12 SEC games. You're 1-11.
Yeah. The only team worse is Mississippi State.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes. And Mississippi State last year was atrocious. And this year, Mississippi State should not be 0-4 in SEC play. They should have beaten Tennessee, should have beaten Texas.
I saw someone tweet out records for the last 2 years in the SEC. And yeah, it is kind of weird to look at. But
is Kentucky the institution? Are they the type of because like LSU passed the hat around. We all know the stories that how Brian Kelly got dismissed. Reports are that, a donor is handling pretty much 80% of the buyout, taking care of all that for LSU. This isn't basketball for Kentucky. If this was basketball, he would be gone. So are there donors enough that are going to step up and make the financial burden less for Mark Stoops and Kentucky so they can depart with him?
$38 million.
75% of that due within 60 days.
Gosh.
Let's go out to the phone lines real fast. Brandon is with us this morning. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning. I like the Hank Hill version of that Marty Robbins iron on his hip just as good. Hank Hill has become famous for singing songs with AI, and I love it.
Yeah.
And as far as the situation goes with the parking at the SEC Championship, if you need some help with that, let me know. I'm a member at a place there where if I know early enough, I can get parking at a real good rate.
Well, they just jacked the price up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bad, dude. bad.
Almost almost
Taylor
as
Swift
good as
concert?
hotel room pricing.
At the parking deck across the street from Twin Smokers and Stats, the day of the Taylor Swift concert, it was $150.
So,
and people were paying it.
It wasn't
They were
that
getting there at
high.
noon.
They did not put it that high for the Beyonce concerts when we were there. Remember,
Because
we were
you did
there.
3 of them.
Yeah.
We were there.
What was that? What was our Uber driver's name? I can't remember. Crystal. It
Crystal.
was Crystal.
All we know is Drew wanted to go to the Beyonce concert. He did not really want to go see the Alabama movie.
No.
He was disappointed that he did not get to go to the Beyonce concert.
Are there any selfie videos of Moulton and
I have
Drew,
pictures
singing at the Beyonce concert?
So I knew that we were going the wrong way when we got to Georgia State, where we were.
Oh, yeah.
They maneuvered over it because I was thinking this is a weird way to go to the college football Hall of Fame.
Maybe she knows some back route, going to drop us off at the back door.
But then I saw "Welcome to Georgia State," and I said, "Crystal, we're going to the College Football Hall of Fame." What?
She thought,
and she was blaring the music too.
She literally thought us 3 guys in the car were going to the Beyonce concert.
Yeah. And let me tell you, the spandex that we saw on some folks. Oh.
And the not spandex.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Put some Crisco in them pants to get them on.
Tubs of it.
Well, I saw yesterday Joel Klatt did a video, and he did a side-by-side comparison of Texas's resume and Iowa's resume.
They're probably about the same.
They're about the same. And it's amazing to think that, but it's true. And he was saying, you could easily see Texas and Iowa, they could possibly meet up in a bowl game depending on what happens, the way it plays out.
Yeah.
And, when you take a look at those 2 resumes, you would say one team is highly overrated. You would say the other team is possibly, where you thought they'd be maybe a little better depending on what they do in these next couple games. And he's making the point of where would you rank them? And I think the guy's got a point. I think it's changed so much that, Iowa's defense is really good.
Right now, though, Iowa, I would put them behind because, their 2 losses are to ranked teams. They haven't beaten a ranked team yet.
Agreed on that.
And so Saturday, November 8th, they take on Oregon. If Iowa does not win, if they lose that game, they're out completely because it's 3 losses. They have to win that game because then it's USC, Michigan State, and Nebraska. So Iowa's resume will get better these last 4 weeks, and we'll know whether or not, they're a true playoff contending team if they can beat Oregon. If they don't beat Oregon, then forget about it.
Yeah.
So they've put themselves in that spot. They should have beaten Indiana at home, and they should have beaten Iowa State on the road. So, they've put themselves in that spot.
Well, let's say they beat Oregon and they handle their business for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Going through it. If the Big Ten gets 4 teams in, are they the 4th team?
Well, you would have a win against Oregon. Oregon would have 2 losses.
Let me see.
It would be you would take Ohio State, Indiana.
From a statistical standpoint, this is from ESPN Reference. Their 4 top teams in the Big Ten are Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, and Southern California.
So if Iowa beats both of them, that would trump probably all of that. That would, yeah.
Iowa's the next team, by the way.
Yes.
Then it's Penn State.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, here's the thing, though. Iowa has to go to Los Angeles. Iowa plays like crap in Los Angeles. We could take the Big Ten All-Stars out there, put them in Iowa helmets, and we're going to lose. So that scares me even more. Yes. So,
by the way, good to hear from you, Jordy Armin.
Yeah. All right, Brandon. Thanks for the phone call, bud.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, Drew letting us know that it was Free Willy.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yes.
Yeah. That little Uber trip. By the way, I paid for that Uber. May have been the best money I spent that whole week. Crystal was fantastic.
She was.
Very, very memorable trip.
She was. She was good. And Drew was heartbroken he did not get to see Beyonce. If you know Drew, you know we're not telling the truth.
No.
Anyway, we got to get a break in. 7:48, wrap up hour one next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
There are only about 4,300 publicly traded companies on the U.S. stock exchange, but there are an estimated 33 million companies in the U.S. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. The average investor is missing out on over 99% of the investment opportunity that's happening in this beautiful country until now. True portfolio strength is found beyond the confines of the S&P 500, investing in promising companies before they go public. Private real estate, infrastructure, world-changing technologies. This is called the endowment model. The endowment model has historically outperformed the traditional model of just stocks and bonds. If you're an accredited investor and want more from your investments, it's time to think beyond just stocks and bonds. Call Trajan today, 256-202-4200. That's 256-202-4200.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
The AVCA Beach Volleyball Pairs National Championships are back in Huntsville this November. 64 of the nation's top pairs in collegiate beach volleyball are hitting the sand in a weekend packed with big serves, wild rallies, and high-flying action. It's fast, it's fun, and best of all, it's free. You don't want to miss the excitement live, so grab your sunglasses, rally your crew, and join us at John Hunt Park Sand Volleyball Courts from November 7th to the 9th.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. Are those new school clothes wearing out that old washer and dryer? Well, it's time to get off the bus at Owen Home Appliance Center and learn what a new Speed Queen washer can do for you. They're in stock and are ready for delivery now. At Owen Home Appliance Center, quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's right there in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center. 2 locations to serve you, Highway 36 in Somerville and the interactive location at Highway 231 in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
So I mentioned President Trump. He was in Japan the other day. Speaking to the troops, here's the president.
This is a beauty, and I hear your commanding officer is a big Alabama football fan. You know, I love Alabama. I love Alabama. Captain Timothy Waits, and let me just say, roll tide. You know, I love Alabama. Roll tide. Where's Timothy? Where's Timothy? That was a hell of a game this week. I don't know how the hell you pull that one out. If you didn't win, I wouldn't have mentioned it. I would have just introduced you. I wouldn't have. But you came back from oblivion. Isn't it nice coming back? You know, coming back is good. Thanks.
The president talking about the win over South Carolina.
That 14-play, 79-yard drive now having presidential impact.
Yes. He's paying attention. He's watching college football, watching Alabama.
I love the groan there initially when he first said Roll Tide.
It was
But they can't really boo. Especially if you're in the armed services, chances are you're not going to boo the commander in chief.
Right.
All you can do is go,
Yeah. You're not going to boo because if you boo it, right.
Oh, no. Yeah. There'd be a lot. I would imagine there would be a lot of punishment after that. Yeah. So nobody's booing the president on any level, in any statement.
I just thought that was pretty good that he knew he knew
Yeah.
Alabama was
And he knew it was a comeback
he
win.
was knew it was a comeback win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's dialed in. By the way, for more, you can tune in to Talk Radio, WZZN. That's our HD.2 channel. And
then the other little fun thing. Were you watching? It was the Texas A&M LSU game on Saturday.
Not a lot in the second half.
Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit were talking about resumes and talking about games that each opponent has. And I believe it's Texas A&M has Samford on the schedule.
Oh, yes, I did see this.
And Kirk Herbstreit did not know what SAM was.
Yeah, Sam.
Did not know what it was and was like, well, okay, did not know what it was. And Kirk and Chris Fowler's like, well, that's Samford. And he's like, yeah, okay, whatever, Sam. Yeah, whatever. Well, Samford took off and ran with this like they should.
Yes, they should.
And so they put out on social media that we accept your apology for Kirk Herbstreit only if you wear a Samford tie on Saturday. And they said, well, glad you send you one.
Yeah.
But we'll accept your apology if you wear a Samford tie on Saturday.
I think it's only fair. I do. I mean,
Herbstreit has yet to respond. As of Monday, he did not respond. And Samford retweeted him again and said the offer still stands.
Come on now. I mean, just for a segment, this needs to happen. It really does. Good for Samford. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised they didn't say, hey, we can make you a suit or something. I mean, just go full Samford, head to toe. They just went tie. By the way, a Samford suit would be fantastic.
Oh, it would. But on the spot.
Yeah.
Would most college football people, if you put the Samford logo up there, put a Bulldog and put SAM,
yeah,
would you know that it's Samford right on the spot as fast as he has that?
That's tough.
Would you know that was Samford? But, I mean, would you know it? We do because we see it a lot.
Because it's right here in our home state. Lenny Acuff is the men's basketball coach now. So what would be the equivalent of this?
So here was Herbstreit.
Yeah.
That's a different game on the road. South Carolina having a tough year. That's at home. Not sure who that one is.
That would be Samford.
Okay, whatever. And then you got Texas.
Whatever.
And then you go to Texas.
Whatever. Whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe like a Old Dominion reference. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
See, we follow a lot of college football.
I know. Yes, we do.
So
yes,
it's one of those things where we see a lot of logos come up.
Maybe Cal Poly. If Cal Poly's logo comes up, I'm not sure. I don't even know their mascot name for Cal Poly. So that would. I'm just scrolling through that. They're in the Big Sky Conference.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of obscure teams that we don't know. And for me, it would be
So
Cal Poly.
if this one came up, see, I don't want you to see
Yeah,
the right of the screen there.
Yeah.
But like there's one like Texas State.
Yeah.
If the Texas State Bobcat logo came up.
And I would be just because of the Franchione reference.
Okay.
Because he ended up being the coach there. But
so if you're going to do this show,
we cover a lot of college
Fran
football.
Phoney. It's Fran Phoney on this show. Yes. We have all of those.
I mean, I can take the obscure, like the Campbell Camels. I mean,
there you go.
We know that one.
Right.
At least I know that one.
Travis Reier, we know him. He's next.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series season wraps up with a championship race at Phoenix on Sunday. For the Cup title, Denny Hamlin is a 2-1 favorite. Kyle Larson plus 250. William Byron plus 275. Chase Briscoe plus 370. College football tonight, Jacksonville State, 5.5-point road favorites at Middle Tennessee, 54.5 the total at Red Floyd Stadium, Murfreesboro. Coming up on Saturday, Auburn, 10.5-point favorites at home with Kentucky. Troy laying 7 at home with Arkansas State. UConn, a 12.5-point home favorite with UAB. Game 5 of the World Series today, Dodgers minus 209 against the Blue Jays. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hour 2 of Talking Ball is upon us. SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. The official medical providers for the UAH Chargers and the Rocket City Trash Pandas, both of which have homes right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Don't forget about their Saturday sports clinic each Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., 4715 Whitesburg Drive. It's SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. SportsMedAlabama.com. Time for us to bring in our first guest of the morning. He joins us each and every week to break down a lot of SEC football. You can find him on Reier on YouTube, Talkin' Tide Podcast, Second Helping. He's all over the place, and he's with us here on a Wednesday. It's our good friend Travis Reier. Travis, you're with Scott and Steve this morning. Drew is gallibatting to Atlanta in some weather, but needless to say, plenty of SEC football still to break down.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the top 2 teams in the league on their bye week in Texas A&M and Alabama, but again, even in that 11 a.m. Central slot with Diego and Vanderbilt visiting Texas and intrigue surrounding the status of Arch Manning, right through the primetime games. Looks like another fun Saturday.
You know, Texas comes in a 2.5-point favorite in this ball game. Vanderbilt comes in, obviously, 9th ranked, feeling a lot of, I guess you could say a lot of They have a lot of motion, but they have a lot of energy going in.
Momentum.
Momentum, that's the word. I could not
Yeah.
think of it. A lot of momentum into this one. I know Texas is the favorite, but it's like this is the game, and it's hard to say, but this is the game Vanderbilt, I expect them to win now.
I think more importantly, I think they expect to win. And I think it starts with Diego at the quarterback position. You think about going in to tough places on the road and getting the job done. Well, they weren't able to do it at Alabama, but they were very much in that game throughout and really still probably kicking themselves over some of those red zone mishaps that they had on multiple occasions in Tuscaloosa. But, they went to Blacksburg and won impressively early in the season when Virginia Tech was still interested in the 2025 campaign. Kind of changed after that second half against Vanderbilt up there at Lane Stadium, and then went into Williams-Brice and thumped South Carolina 31-7. So this isn't a situation, I don't think, for Clark Lee and his team where they're going to go into Austin and feel overwhelmed at all. So it is interesting, I think, that Texas is still not a ringing favorite, but favored by a couple at least, especially when you consider the quarterback situation and what that could look like for the Longhorns on Saturday.
I owned because I went back, Travis, and by the way, it's great to talk to you, sir. It's
good to talk to you, Steve.
Likewise. I went back and looked at my predicted order of finish from Atlanta, and I mean, I kind of bought into Texas as well. I mean, how did so many people get this wrong of Texas in particular? Because they still, by the way, they still have everything in front of them, but man, have they looked bad, especially offensively.
Yeah, I talked about this on my show this morning on Reier on YouTube. Texas is 3-1 in the SEC, and it feels like they're 1-3. You kind of think about that, and you're like, okay, am I looking at this right? But you know what? They got a heck of a punt returner in Ryan Niblett. So, I don't think anyone had that before the season either. Look, Arch is going to struggle. This offense is going to struggle. But this guy, Ryan Niblett's going to return a couple of punts for touchdowns in a 3-week span. And that's going to be largely responsible for Texas being able to win those 3 SEC games in a row. But you're right. Amazingly, that team, it's like the Florida loss doesn't really hurt them right now. As long as they take care of business, they still got Georgia, they still got Texas A&M, which you could say, well, that doesn't look great out on the horizon, including this Vanderbilt game on Saturday. But if they take care of those games, they still have a great chance to be in Atlanta and in the college football playoff.
It's crazy.
Travis, we tried to sum this up earlier, Monday and Tuesday. What should the fan base from Mississippi State feel right now, or how should they feel? I mean, because they're taking on an Arkansas team, and you look at it, both teams are winless in the SEC, but they're both completely different. I mean, Mississippi State is 3 plays away from being at the top of the league, not the bottom.
Yeah, I think the word conflicted, if I'm a Mississippi State fan right now, because there have absolutely been signs of improvement in year under Jeff Levy. But as we know, the SEC, an absolute bottom line league. You're either winning games or you're not.
Yeah.
And this is, for the second straight week, a game in Fayetteville in which someone has to get an SEC win, right? Last week, it was Auburn and Arkansas. This week, it's Mississippi State and Arkansas. Somebody has to get an SEC win. Given that State has been in great position against really good teams, or teams we thought were really good, like Florida, like Tennessee, like Texas, I'm kind of inclined to think, well, this is the week that they get the job done, even on the road. But the wild card in all this is Talon Green, the quarterback for Arkansas. I've said it. He's a guy that there's no in between with Talon Green. He'll either get you fired or he'll get you extended if you're a head coach. And I think that's what
Hugh's best player on Saturday. He was Hugh's best player on Saturday right there.
He was, especially at a time of the game where it just can't happen. But again, there are extended stretches where you think this could be QB1 in the 2026 NFL draft. He has, those type of skills and ability. But yeah, it's a fascinating situation right now if you're a Mississippi State fan, because again, your team is a good bit better than last year, but it's like, I guess Bill Belichick always said, you are what your record says you are. And unfortunately for State, that's where it sits right now.
For Ole Miss, was this a turning point finally? I mean, we've all kind of chronicled the life and times, including ESPN, of one Lane Kiffin, but from the fourth quarter at Georgia to the fourth quarter at Oklahoma, did we finally, you think, see a turning point for Lane Kiffin's program in the fourth quarter at Oklahoma?
Cautiously, I think we might have, Steve, because we thought that after Ole Miss beat Georgia in Oxford last year, right? And then they go to Gainesville with everything on the line and lose. So I still worry about Ole Miss in situations like this, not just because of Florida. This is still a team a year ago that lost to a bad Kentucky team at home and really wrecked its CFP chances as much as anything. And that loss is the Florida loss. So we know, though, that they can come back from really tough adversity like that Georgia game and respond in a back-to-back roader, which is Athens, Norman. That's rough. And I think in a lot of ways that defense and Ole Miss's personnel overcame Lane Kiffin last week. I didn't think it was Lane Kiffin's best game over there. So you would think that they'll take care of business against a South Carolina team that's got to be pretty well gutted at this point, especially after the events of last Saturday evening at Williams-Brice Stadium. But there's still some trust, I'd say, to be earned from Ole Miss, even as we move through this stretch, which looks very favorable for the Rebels and maybe Atlanta and beyond.
Auburn is back home. Hugh Freeze survives another week. Don't know how much that added to his tenure time at Auburn. But they got Kentucky this week. And we talked a lot about this from the Kentucky perspective earlier in the show. What does Kentucky do with Mark Stoops if they fall in this ball game? We all know that if Auburn falls, then you would have to think that would be the end of Hugh Freeze. But like you said, somebody's going to win an SEC game here again.
Yeah, the cumulative SEC records in a couple of these games are not great. I think in this one, it's 1-10 for the two teams between Kentucky and Auburn. And then with Arkansas and Mississippi State, it's like 0-8. So it's a situation now where, okay, Auburn gets the road win at Arkansas. Is the change at quarterback moving forward complete? Are we moving on from Jackson Arnold the way things transpired a week ago? You would think that's the case. I know, and understandably so, Hugh's kind of trying to play that as much as he can going into this game. But yeah, Kentucky right now, you're right. That's more the bigger question for that program is, what is it going to look like in 2 or 3 months? Is this long tenure of Mark Stoops inevitably coming to an end, whether that's mutually decided or by one party or the other? And then you start thinking about how Kentucky might fit into the carousel and the dominoes and all those things. So this looks like a great spot for Auburn to continue the momentum and ride it with the quarterback change, especially as you look down the road to a big game, certainly at the very end of the tunnel there. So I agree. I think this is where, if there's truly a shift at this point in Hugh Freeze's tenure, this is a game you absolutely have to win at home.
Have we seen the last of Jackson Arnold, do you think?
I got to think, if not the last, as a starter, at least going into this game. Look, and Ashton, if you go back to his time at Stanford, he wasn't always Mr. Dependable with the football, with the Cardinal. So there were a lot of great things to come out of that Arkansas win, and I think you do need to ride those. But sort of like Taylon Green that we've talked about and Jackson in some instances, consistency is something you wonder about still a little bit. You definitely got the spark, as you called it, that you needed in making that change, but can you get consistency from that position now?
Let's move over to Tuscaloosa. We talked a little about Alabama and their win at South Carolina. This felt to me, we're seeing growth in year two. I don't think Alabama wins that game last year. They win it this year. That you can see that culture, and there's always transitions. But the biggest question, at least that I have, even heading into the LSU game, is along the offensive line. What's your biggest question mark you have on Alabama heading down the stretch here, Travis?
Yeah, I agree, Steve. And I don't think it's just LSU. Obviously, that's going to be the focus, but the month of November,
yeah,
with what Alabama's going to see from LSU's front seven and Oklahoma's defensive front, and certainly Auburn with the quality it's going to put out there, it's another level that they're going to. It's almost appropriate that they have wrapped up the SEC East. I mean, that's essentially what Alabama did in this run.
Yeah.
It was all old SEC East. And old SEC East, in terms of lines of scrimmage, Alabama typically had their way with those teams from over there. It's once Alabama got to November and LSU and Auburn and more of the West came into play where, that became a bigger and bigger challenge. And that's essentially what's going to happen, I think, in November from that standpoint. So the bye week, going into LSU, I think of Alabama's guard positions almost like what we've always heard about a quarterback. And you got two or three quarterbacks playing. Well, if you got two or three quarterbacks playing, do you have one good one? Or you doing what you have to do? That's what I think about the guard spots. I mean, it's a revolving door, and good for those guys. They're all getting opportunities. But as much as I thought the tackles, complicating things, is you had it underscored once again by Dylan Stewart and Brian Thomas Jr. for South Carolina that really good edge guys are still a problem for Alabama's offensive tackles. And then you add in the disruptiveness that South Carolina was able to create with their interior guys, and it took away a lot of the pocket maneuverability for Ty Simpson that he seemingly had a good bit of prior to South Carolina. So they definitely have some things to sort of try to figure out. I think Ryan Grubb in a lot of ways is schemed and called around it because rushing wise, they are down about 60, 65, 70 yards per game in rushing yards. Now, a year ago, different makeup to the offense with Jalen Milroe and his ability to run the football from the quarterback position. So you got to take that into account. But you do wonder the sustainability of what they've done. But boy, Grubb, a revelation as a reunion with Kalen DeBoer as he been. And I don't think just in terms of what we've seen from the offense, but team wide, I think he's had that impact as far as accountability and, the way he goes about his business.
We have an elimination game, I guess you could say, Saturday between Tennessee and Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
The loser of this one out completely of the SEC championship race.
We wondered when we went to this playoff and we went to, expanding it even to 4 and then now with 12 and eventually looking inevitably at probably 16. The integrity of the regular season. I was right there too. I wasn't, over the moon thinking about what games might look like in November. I still think that's going to probably be problematic, but it does feel like we're already in a playoff, and it's October the 29th.
Yeah.
So, games obviously mean a whole lot. And you're right with this one. I like the matchup because we're getting a defensive guy in Brent Venables, taking on an offensive guy in Josh Heupel. That was a nice bounce back performance by Tennessee last Saturday night in Lexington, dropping a 50 bomb on UK. And, I think that, that's where it's going to be. I just wonder again, about Tennessee's ability to run the football against this Oklahoma defense, because that still there has to be some semblance of that. Even when Tennessee fell behind Alabama, by a couple of scores, they were able to stay with the run game, right? And stay in the football game effectively. It's not going to be easy to do against this Oklahoma defense, but if they can do that, then I think they can create some of the same opportunities we saw Ole Miss get in the passing game.
Tennessee is better than I thought they were going to be. They lost so much defensively from last year. I thought there was going to be a bigger step back, but I don't know about you, Travis. I don't have a clue as to who's winning Saturday night.
No, and I love it that way.
Yeah.
That's why we're going to watch, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you. I don't have a great feeling on that. We've, seen Oklahoma go on the road and play pretty impressively here in the not too distant past with the win at South Carolina. But, the thing you worry about for Oklahoma is having to put so much on Mateer. And what they need from him week in and week out. And the good news for Oklahoma is he gets further removed from that injury that obviously impacted him against Texas and probably even last week against Ole Miss. But I think for OU, it's going to start with that defense, and they don't really need a game like they got from Ole Miss, right?
Yeah.
If the game gets into the 30s going into last week, you would have felt really good for Ole Miss. I think that's kind of the same thing with Tennessee. If Tennessee gets this thing even into the high 20s, mid 30s, that's going to be a really good situation, I think, for the Vols.
And finally, for me, Travis, I would not be shocked, and maybe this is the Georgia in me talking, but DJ Lagway was a problem last year for the Georgia defense last year, and he's getting healthier. It would not surprise me in the least if Florida hung with Georgia more than people think.
Yeah, I think just in terms of roster, Florida is closer to Georgia than they've probably been in a long time.
Yeah.
And that's taken into consideration too. Florida's beat up on defense still. I mean, if you're talking a completely healthy roster, that's certainly, I think, the case. But you do have to take into account some of the injuries, especially on defense, that the Gators have endured. I'm interested for a couple of reasons, because for 2 straight Saturdays, we're going to have interims making their debut. Billy Gonzalez is going to do it for Florida this week.
Yep.
And then we're going to see Frank Wilson for LSU at Alabama the next week. I want to see the impact that has on these teams. Are they freed up? Is the offense really, more than anything, for both of those teams better than what it was under Sloan and Kelly in making that move there? And then also this week for Florida, because Florida fans had enough of Billy Napier, the play caller, as much as anything else. So, Billy kind of subscribed to that. I'll give up the call sheet when you pry my cold, dead hands from it.
Wow.
And that's essentially what happened.
Yep.
And that's what I will say for Eli Drinkwitz. A couple of years ago, he gave it up, brought in Kirby Moore, and now we're hearing Drink for jobs like Florida and Penn State.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's the case if he doesn't kind of do the introspection required and make the move that needed to be made for Mizzou. So, yeah, that's where I'm interested in this game too, is, how does Florida respond? What does the offense not necessarily look like? Because I don't think you can really make sweeping changes. You kind of are who you are. And then also, I know we'll talk about this next week, from LSU being in a very similar situation.
Yep. All right, Travis, let everybody know where they can find you.
They're at Reier on YouTube, right there on YouTube, Reier on YouTube. Check us out, SEC programming, Alabama programming, some NFL, some morning talk as well, right there at Reier on YouTube.
All right, thanks, Travis.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's get a break in. Talking Ball returns after this.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tide fans.
Here comes the Tide.
Let's roll.
And one for the win. Ball game. Bama wins.
Grab your hard hats and tune in for blue-collar basketball with the Crimson Tide all season long on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188, and you can email me at Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We mentioned it off the top of the show. I do want to mention it again. Want to pass on some best of lucks. So in the 1A volleyball today at 12:30, Meek and Addison will meet for the 1A title. And then at 2:30, Gunnersville is going to take on Montgomery Catholic for the 5A title. And then in 6A, Hazel Green will take on Spanish Fort at 4:30. So those are your finals for today. The rest of it gets started today as well. So there was like half of the classes played yesterday. The other ones will play today.
Mm-hmm.
So they're down there at Bill Harris Arena, Crossplex in Birmingham. Best of luck to all of our area volleyball teams. Again,
absolutely.
Hazel Green in 6A, Gunnersville in 5A, and then you've got Addison and Meek in 1A. So see if we can bring home 3 titles today here for North Alabama. But best of luck there. And don't worry, we're paying attention. We're paying attention because if you win one, you just never know.
Team of the week.
You just never know where we're going to show up with some money. Never know.
Appreciate the fine folks at Bryant Bank for sponsoring that. And it's fun to Y'all gave out. I think there was 1 week.
We gave out $1,500.
Yeah, there was 1 week of 3 teams of the week.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You could say that. We've given out. Well, because
I don't
because it wasn't 3, it was 2, but there was a special presentation within 1, so it was 2 schools. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we gave away a little extra money to 1 school.
Okay, maybe that's my bad.
But we did give away $1,500 1 week. In 1 week, we gave away $1,500.
That's Brian Bank.
And then last week we gave away $1,000. This week, normally we do it today. We just didn't pick one yet. So normally we announce it today. But we just have not had a chance to pick one for the week. So we'll probably
he's too busy
do
going
that
to
tomorrow.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
He's just too busy going to Atlanta.
Yes. But anyway, we will have a Brian Bank Team of the Week coming up this week. And then we obviously last week of the regular season.
That's right.
We get into the playoffs next week. So there's a lot going on.
A lot of Thursday
on the high school
games.
Football level. Oh my gosh.
Thursday games. In fact, on our high school streaming network, all but one are playing on Thursday. Buckhorn still playing on Friday, but everybody else, well, I think Sparkman's off this week. The region champs, the Sparkman Senators, they're off this week. They're 5-5 and they're region champs. That's called winning the right 5 games.
That's all it is.
Congratulations, Sparkman.
But you won the games, though. I mean, that's the thing.
Absolutely.
It's
absolutely
crazy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. We talk about Class 7A Region 4, and we'll talk about it when we get to the playoffs. Class 7A Region 4. Now, this year, they're getting the Mobile region.
Can I get a win?
We've not had we don't have the Birmingham region of death for the second straight year. Last year, the Auburn region did not go as well. That's the question. Can the 7A Region 4 up here actually get wins in the playoffs? Because that has been non-existent. And last year, it was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. And because they all weren't even close.
No, that was the problem. And there's some really good teams. So what will be in store this year? All right, we got to get a break in because when we come back, we're going to talk Kentucky football. That's right. We're going to go up north, talk a little Kentucky football with our good friend Nick Roush from Kentucky Sports Radio.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Travel accommodations for 97.7 ESPN The Zone provided by University Kia. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A cloudy sky this afternoon. We're going to be talking about scattered showers through the entirety of the afternoon, even as we head into the evening through the course of the overnight. Because of the continued opportunities for scattered showers today, temperatures are only going to climb into the low and mid-50s, dropping into the mid-40s as we head into the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky on Thursday, a couple of isolated showers, temperatures in the mid-50s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Kentucky Bluebird, I heard your song today.
Welcome back in. On Saturday, the Auburn Tigers welcome the Kentucky Wildcats, Jordan Hare Stadium. 6:30 kick. SEC Network has this one. Mark Stoops, the SEC's longest tenured coach, currently in his 13th season guiding the Wildcats. There has been a lot of talk, and I mean a lot of talk, on whether or not this is going to be his last season. There's been a lot of talk. And to help us break this game down, and even more from the Kentucky perspective, need to bring in our good friend, Nick Roush, who covers Kentucky football for Kentucky Sports Radio, joining us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Nick, welcome into the show. You're with Scott and Steve this morning on a Wednesday morning. Welcome in.
Thanks for having me, fellas. It's a little bit unusual. Ahead of the season, you're thinking, oh, man, going back to Jordan Hare, haven't done this too often. This should be a fun game. And now it's almost like a loser leaves town kind of match between Hugh Freeze and Mark Stoops.
It is. So we hear, I mean, and that's been the talk around Hugh Freeze for the last month, is if it's going to happen, when it would happen. You know, it's like, oh, you're thinking they're down 21-10 at Arkansas. If they don't win this, he's done. Well, they win it, so he's still here this week. That's been the talk around Hugh Freeze. What's been the narrative around Mark Stoops week by week?
Well, and it's for going into the season, much of it was predicated on two of their early SEC games. Ole Miss at home at South Carolina. You really needed one of those games to be a win in order to feel good about how the season could go. Ole Miss, they kind of had a chance in the fourth quarter. They had a chance late to tie it, couldn't get it done. Trailed by 10 at one point. Ultimately made it a one-score game, but didn't play well. And when they got shellacked at South Carolina, they let the Gamecocks have defensive touchdowns on back-to-back plays. That's when the wheels were shaking, people were mad, and really just looking for a reason to get out the pitchforks. When they got stuffed in overtime against Texas, if there was any hope being held out, it's all gone now. So really, a lot of folks are kind of just playing the waiting game. Right. Even though the offense is looking better and Cutter Boley kind of gives you a reason to be excited, nobody really cares about that right now. They just want to talk about, is Mark Stoops going to be fired? When's he going to be fired? We're sick of his ass. Get him out of town.
During the offseason, I just, from a distance, the Vince Morrow story, how much traction did that story have of the going Kentucky to Louisville, and was that as big of a deal as I think it might have been?
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people it was the canary in the coal mine, right? They already knew that it was bad, and Vince Merrill leaving was just another sign of how bad it was. Now, he's certainly not blameless in the roster mess that they are in right now, but for a lot, the symbolism behind it, I mean, it's not just that Vince recruited. I mean, he was the carnival barker for Mark Stoops, right? Like, he's Paul Heyman to Brock Lesnar, you know, like whenever they were down at a time like this, right? Like, they would bring out Vince and he would give the sort of, I know things are bad right now, but we're gonna get this back together. We got some guys, and like that losing that guy, the guy that was always in your corner, that said a lot. It said a lot, and also to lose him to Louisville, that hit even harder. So I think I don't think too many people are surprised by how this season has unfolded based on the events of the last year and a half or so.
So the buyout, when you mention Mark Stoops, the buyout thing comes in, his whole, the nuances in his contract, that X amount of percentages due within 60 days and the amount of the buyout. Is that an issue for Kentucky at all?
Yes and no. So I think, could they pay $37 million within 60 days? Yeah. Do they want to? No, of course not. So I think in a perfect world, things get bad enough to where they say, okay, Mark, maybe you take $25 million and then we'll defer the rest for over the next 5 years or something like that. But either way, he is going to be making a lot of money not to coach. It's one of those, I've tried to explain this to some of our fans that have wanted Stoops gone for a while. Like, that's not how Mitch Barnhart rolls. I mean, he doesn't really fire people midseason. And there's another part of this too. Like, when you're firing, just because James Franklin and Brian Kelly got fired midseason doesn't mean that you're not a serious football program at Kentucky. It's like, one, how much would it really accomplish with the midseason firing? Are you really climbing up quicker up the totem pole? And two, I mean, Stoops is the winningest program in Kentucky, or coach in Kentucky football history. So, like, there is a little bit of, you let him coach the games, and if things like he'll probably prove it to you that they're not good enough to keep his job. So I don't think you have to worry about that. And I think the biggest sign that it's the end of days, it's usually not, like, just look in the stands. That happened with Joker Phillips in 2012. Nobody was there when they got shellacked by Vandy by 40 points. They played Louisville in the season finale last year, and they didn't even play the fourth quarter highlight video because it was only Louisville fans in the stands. We got the highlight video against Tennessee, but there weren't any Kentucky fans to watch it either. So you've had consecutive home rivalry games where fans aren't watching. It's hard to come back from that, if not impossible.
How about matchup-wise? How do you think Kentucky matches up against Auburn?
Well, they've actually done a decent job against the traditional run game. The issue is that if Ashton Daniels or Jackson Arnold, whoever it is, can just get it to those big receivers, Kentucky's secondary has been absolutely horrendous this year. It doesn't help that they've had an injury or two, but they've still just had guys running by them all year. I don't know where you guys stand, but I was kind of on that boat where it's like, Ashton Daniels was kind of fun at Stanford last year. He can't be any worse than Arnold. Let's see what he can do. If he can just get it to those receivers, they're gonna put up some yards. I'm curious, just like what the fight is going to be in the Auburn defense, because I mean, Cutter Boley has gotten better like each and every week of his starts. I mean, he might be the best quarterback Stoops has ever had, and it's just too little too late. And I know Tennessee's defense isn't good, but he had 300 total yards of offense against that Texas defense, which has been pretty stout. That is one where I'm curious, can they continue moving forward offensively, or is this Auburn defense the one that kind of presents a challenge that you finally hit one of those stalemates? Because honestly, it's as bad as they've both been when it comes to scoring offense. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if this is a 31-28 type of game on Saturday.
The offensive line, am I not mistaken that the offensive line was supposed to be one of the strongest points for this team this past season? It was one of the most experienced lines in the FBS coming in. Has it performed up to where they thought it would?
Yeah, I think so. The issue with it is that they spent in the portal. You're almost paying $1.30 on the dollar for those players, and even talent-wise, when you look across the league, it was at best going to be kind of middle of the road in the SEC, and that's what they've been. They've been good, not great. The protection's held up fine enough for Cutter Boley. The run game has been decent when Seth McGowan's healthy. I think their biggest issue, though, what they wanted and hoped to fix, was just asking too much, and that's, hey, if it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, we need to be able to run it through the A gap and get a first down anytime we do that, and that just hasn't been the case. They're just not good enough. And also, the guy that they recruited from the portal to be their short yard specialist, Dante Dowdell, has been completely underwhelming. He has not been good at all. In fact, when McGowan went out with an injury last week, was an unexpected late scratch, they put in a redshirt freshman who, Jason Patterson, who looked really talented. He's a panhandle guy from the state of Florida, not too far from y'all. So I'm not sure if McGowan's going to be back or not. They said it's sort of a grip issue, a ball security issue. He's a huge difference maker, both in the passing and in the rushing game. And Kentucky can certainly hang with him if McGowan is able to go Saturday on the Plains.
Is it officially basketball season? Because I did watch a good bit of the Purdue game at that exhibition. Jasper Johnson looks really good to me. How good do you think Jasper Johnson could be for this Kentucky team?
The thing that's going to be nice is Pope is, it doesn't make for the easiest radio fodder, but they are so deep all across the board. The best part about Jasper Johnson is that he can go nuclear that game, but somebody else is the next game.
Yeah.
Right? Like there is, particularly with a freshman like him, where he's got a little bit of Rob Dillingham to him, where he makes these crazy sort of acrobatic plays, and he's a really talented shooter. But from I kind of expect him to be sort of up and down, where the highs are going to be really highs, but there might be a couple games sprinkled in there where you don't really notice them. But it's not going to be the biggest of deals because they got Denzel Aberdeen from Florida to play a similar position.
Yeah.
And then Colin Chandler in his second year, he really shot the ball well at the end of the season in the NCAA tournament. You're expecting him to take a significant step forward. So to answer your original question, Steve, like, dude, you want to talk about a tale of 2 days. I mean, Big Blue Nation was just like, oh my God, we're never going to lose a basketball game again. Holy crap, this football team's terrible. Fire the coach, fire everybody. We don't see it again. It is, I think people are looking forward to the Georgetown exhibition game tomorrow night a little bit more than the Auburn football game on Saturday.
So Saturday could be the end of it for Mark Stoops. They're not going to do anything mid-season, though. I mean, this would, and if anything happens, will it come at the end of the season? And do you graciously, because of what he's accomplished at Kentucky, Mark Stoops, and he has accomplished a ton with that football program, do you make this more of a set of firing, a parting? You don't label it as a firing. You give it more like a not a retirement, but just parting of the ways?
2 things. One, some expect it to happen. It could happen as soon as Sunday as they lose. I think it would be kind of silly to say, oh, you didn't win at Auburn where you're a double-digit dog, a place where you've only won once since 1961, and that's going to be what fires you. That feels a little silly.
Yeah.
I would think it would be more likely to happen after Auburn, or excuse me, the Florida game the following week.
Yeah.
And to your point, I think, like, in an ideal world, right, Mark Stoops goes to the negotiating table. They negotiate the buyout down ever so slightly, or at least defer the payments where you don't owe it all right away. And then Stoops, there is the mutual parting of ways deal. They agree to let him coach out the season. And then on senior day, it's Stoops' last game as a Kentucky head coach. We don't have to be so nasty on the way out.
Right.
That seems a little too easy and a little too good to be true, though. I mean, this is college football after all we're talking about. So, like, while I would like for that to happen, I got a feeling it might be a little bit messier. I just, and it all comes down to just where Mark Stoops' head is. And that's the $37 million question is he willing to, is there enough pride, right? Like, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, does he want to leave on good graces, or is the money a bigger deal to him? Like, that's the part that we can't really answer. But I would, like, he created this mess. I mean, it's his responsibility as this program, and he made one too many mistakes along the way. But at the same time, like, I've never experienced highs like this watching Kentucky football in my life, and it would be nice to kind of, not end it on such a sour note. But it's college sports, man. When a coach leaves, it's going to be kind of ugly for a little bit. It's a breakup. We can kumbaya later. You got to do what you got to do to get done. I think ideally, Kentucky is able to move on with, maybe a week or two left in the season, so that they can at least have their ducks in a row to make a push for one of Huntsville's finest. I know John Summerall is going to be at the top of the list. He'll be the first to get the call if and when it happens. And then
if he's available,
Oregon offensive coordinator and Louisville native will sign second.
Yeah, if he's available. I mean, his name is being floated around for every job. Does that have an impact on how fast they fire Mark Stoops?
He's not going to get hired before the end of the season. So, like, he's got to coach the games. I think he said that in an interview recently too.
Yeah.
I think Auburn's the one that we've always worried about because he's an Alabama native, and Auburn, you can win a national championship there, right? But there's two things that Kentucky has going for it right now, and one big thing that Auburn doesn't have going for it. I don't think it's possible for Auburn to be an elite football program when Georgia and Alabama are doing what they're doing right now. I just don't think there's enough for all three to be at the top of their game at the same time. Two, I know that, yes, Auburn's your home state. It's like, really? Auburn versus Kentucky? The biggest thing that Kentucky has going for it, some might see it as the biggest disadvantage. Well, when you look at rev share, Kentucky's giving money to basketball. All right, the shoe's on the other coin, though, too. Is Auburn are Auburn football fans going to be excited in the way that Kentucky fans are going to be excited for John Summerall? Is the alumni fan base, are the boosters, is everybody there all in on John Summerall in the way that John Summerall would be all in at Kentucky? Like, not it would be similar to Mark Pope coming home and this sort of feel good, emotional moment, but not just that, but from a resources standpoint, he would have 100% backing of Kentucky and all of its power. Whereas I think at some of those other schools where he's on the hot board, they would like him, but I don't think everybody there is ready to throw a damn parade for him once he arrives. So I think that is one thing that Kentucky will have going for it in their pursuit of him, even though I will say there are definitely people around Lexington worried that he's going to be the one that gets away.
Nick sounded that's as excited as I heard you talking about Kentucky football as when you brought up John Summerall.
Yep, there we go.
He's a ball coach. He can coach them up, man. All he does is win.
Let everybody know where they can find you.
I am at Roush KSR on Twitter. That's Roush, like Roush Racing. No, I wish I was related. It'd be nice to have one of those vehicles, but we're at KentuckySportsRadio.com on the YouTube. We have a good time over there. So appreciate y'all following along, and hopefully we get to watch a decent football game this weekend. Right? It feels like an afterthought, but I'm holding out hope that we get a decent game at Jordan-Hare Stadium on Saturday.
Thanks, Nick.
Enjoy Georgetown.
Let's get a break in. Wrap up this show next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our workhorse special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Great news. This offer is now extended through the end of December. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor. We're here for you.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today. Well, didn't get a shortened one there. We're done.
Yeah.
See, you filled in for Drew. Time flew by.
Yes, it did.
You're out of here.
I'm going to be right back here tonight, 5 o'clock. I've got the teleconference going on today. So that, and also we were talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, because Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, Soundgarden, White Stripes, all going into the performer category.
Yeah.
Good names there.
I've been to an Outkast concert. But
never been to a Cyndi Lauper concert. I've not been there.
No, I have not.
Chubby Checker, obviously, no.
Yeah. All right, we're going to twist our way out of here.
We are. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, Thursday edition.
Tide fans.
Here comes the Tide.